How's it? This is Mundo, and this is the JTG by James Tyler Guitars. James Tyler Guitars, if you don't know, are an American boutique guitar company. Everything's made in California, but these JTGs are made in China. So GM Rich Rankin, Master Builder Gil Vasquez, and the rest of the California team supervised every detail of this guitar. And I can tell you right off the bat, while it is affordable, it's not like a Fender Squier, a PRS SE, Gibson Epiphone. I've had most of all the Asian-made secondary brands in my studio or Zoom teaching with my students. And they're good guitars, but they're student guitars for the most part. So, I mean, there are exceptions like some of the Japanese-made Squiers. I don't think there's a Japanese custom shop anymore, but correct me if I'm wrong. But this, for the same price point, will definitely beat a Fender, an American-made Fender. I'm not even talking about the Squiers. This is a killer guitar, and it definitely is a super strat. Like that opening song, it's got all the genres, 3 personality disorders, a mild identity crisis, and it does all the tones. So we're gonna check that out, but first let's talk about the guitar. So like I mentioned before, this was heavily supervised by the American team to find the right factory, to find the right quality control that they needed, the right wood. It's got a 2-piece outer maple neck and an Indian rosewood fingerboard. The hardware is all custom, so instead of a Goto 510, they custom made all the hardware, like this bridge. It's got a little James Tyler in there. I don't know if you can see it. I'll have to take a picture. Also check out the tuners. They're pretty sexy. So that was all customized by Rich and his team. I do know as well, talking to them before NAMM, during NAMM, they're super excited about this because they got the quality the way they wanted it, and it also keeps that James Tyler vibe in there. Now this guitar streets out around 1800. I'll put a picture up because their custom mates do get pricey, but for 1800 you can get a killer guitar which is going to beat a lot of the competitors, and also you get to swim in the James Tyler Guitars ecosystem, which is really nice. It's got everything a James Tyler Elite has except for all of the LA switches. So you've got volume, tone, 5-way. You have a mid-range boost. We're going to talk a lot about that, but you don't have the 3 toggles or 3 buttons that allow you to go in series or parallel or out of phase, if I have that right. I'm a super strat guy. I only like this array. I mean, if I had a telly, I would probably want to do this to a telly. I'm not used to having an extra button. This has not gotten my way. This is for the mid-range boost. By the way, you can barely see it, but there's a little toggle switch. When it's out, that means it's on. When it's flush, it's off. In theory, let's try this out. Let's try this out. So there's our guitar. You're at the gig, and this mid-range boost, I'm gonna turn this off. This mid-range boost has a battery pack. Easy to get to, right? Maybe not with one hand. So it's still in. You're at the gig, all of a sudden, I don't know how long the battery lasts. I have a feeling it lasts a long time, but let's say your battery goes out. I'm gonna take the battery out. No battery in there, should still work, and it does. So how cool is that? So you have a passive guitar, just like your normal Strat, without the battery. If the battery went dead, you're not stuck with having a battery to always have that connection for a signal chain. Dig it. Also in California, James Tyler Guitars have their own in-house pickup guy, and he carefully supervised the making of these pickups. So this is a JTG Super Bridge, and then for the neck we got a JTG 5000, and then in the middle is JTG 5000. We're going to listen to that as well. The frets are Jescar's 51100. I don't know really what that means, but to me it reminds me of my Les Paul I have behind me. real comfortable. The neck is very comfortable. It's a little different for me. If you, this is not the yellow guitar you've seen on some of my Instagram or YouTube videos. That doesn't belong to me, but I've made friends with it. It's a Dan Huff prototype. The neck is different from that. I would call this more of a fatter C. Maybe it's their 59, but it's got its own thing going on. Super comfortable. And we got a 10 to 14 radius on the fretboard. This case, it comes with a fretboard protector. This is really smart. If you don't have one, it's really nice, especially when you're traveling. Protects your fretboard. But look at that. It's sweet. And if I get back a bit. Comes with documentation and the tools you need. Keys. It's nice. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I think it's super cool. It is super cool that we got mother of pearl inlays, but it's extra super duper cool for people like me who have to play in the dark, often in a pit or a show pit. It's got the luminlay lights, and I think that's very cool. And the luminlay, if I didn't explain right, they glow in the dark. So if you learned like I did, which is with fret markers off the bat, I eventually got educated. The luminlays helped me with my position. It's embarrassing, but if I don't see my frets and I'm playing, I'm like, I'm lost, even though I'm not. It's the weirdest thing. We got dome knobs, like I said, a 5-way, and these are CTS 500K and 250K tone. It's also got a 42 mm bone nut. So if that speaks, that's cool. And of course you have the hockey stick James Tyler headstock. I love it. Okay, let's check out some of these tones. I'll try to play some of the parts I played in that song, and let's have some fun. I'm going through a dirty Shirley Friedman 40-watt amp head, and then I have a clean pedal board. This is the pedal board I use with the Hot Club of Las Vegas, and I added a dirt pedal at the end, the Andy Timmons AT. So I'll just go through that. And I also have a little bit of reverb on this because I'm not an animal. All right, so you can hear there's some spank right there, right? That's nice, and that's kind of my clean tone. If I back off on the volume. And I'm in the, I guess, the 4th position. 1 being the humbucker, 2 being these are split. This is an auto split. Humbucker, middle position, 4th position, and then 5th position, or neck, all right? So, tone is at 10, if I back off a little. That's how I work, by the way. I'm always between those 2 knobs. That's my clone. If I hit it hard, if I add some more volume, get a little bite. So you get called for a gig, good money, good people, not the most fun music. You still have fun with all that good stuff. You can hear that spank. I'm going to be showing you tones between these pickups, and we're also going to drip in the mid-range boost, which is this guy here. I'm leaving it there because that's kind of my sweet spot, but we're going to move that around. And it is, once again, it's a custom mid-range boost, just like they did with the custom hardware. It's not the normal boost you would get with the custom shop. I think that's a Demeter, but they redesigned a mid-range boost for this guitar. And in playing that other Dan Huff guitar a lot, I would say this is just a little more. It's a little more. It's nice. You'll see what the mid-range does. there's a button to turn it on. It is a 2 dB boost, and it's at 150 hertz and 450 hertz with a low pass at 4.5 to 25 dB per octave. I don't know what that means, but that's what it is, okay? I just play with things. All right. So if we go back to that spanky sound. Now it's deployed. Just more. I'll go through it, but this is my sweet spot. If I go where it's completely off, it's still on when it's deployed. I use that a lot in that video. It just adds some extra glad. Right? Back up. That extra. Move into the second position. Move into so that's all with it on. I'm just trying to play some recognizable things so that it is a good reference for us all. Once again, with the mid-range boost off and the knob turned all the way basically to, well, let's just call that 1. If I deploy the mid-range boost, nice bite. It's off.